we look at left and right, we've got you before and after, okay? So the left-hand one, like I said again, a little bit what we call weak in the grip. Now, well, not weak as in performance or ability. You've got a weak grip and a strong grip, okay? So that's just a terminology, okay? But basically speaking, it was too much in the palm, rubbing in your palm of your left hand, causing the grip to wear. You were gripping it tighter because you were losing grip pressure, etc., etc. And because of that grip position, as we can see here on the left-hand side, the inability now to hinge the wrist, as you get back to halfway, there's no hinge. Your right elbow's quite high and your elbow's going to be stuck. And the only way now you can swing the golf club now is kind of like lift your elbows and your arms. And again, we haven't really got much wrist hinge. I mean, in terms of actual angles there, it's kind of there. Now, the right hand first one we can see is a practice swing, which we'd expect to be slightly better because you can think about the swing movements rather than actually make contact with the golf ball. Okay, so if we look at this swing here now as you go back, okay, we get to like halfway. Look at your left arm there now. So your left arm has just gone beyond parallel. Look at that golf club. And look how much further back you get. If I was even a non-golfer could tell you, I'm sure, which person's created the most power. I'm pretty sure clear we can see that right hand one's got more power. Yeah, of course.
At that point, is that the zenith of the swing?
As in how far it should be going, yeah? Yeah, that for me is far enough. I won't try and, I mean, people often say, we must get the golf club to sort of horizontal. A lot of times for most people that's almost an inachievable position. And they then try and create that by tilting or bending there, and they just don't need to, okay? For me, I'd rather a good backswing. You've hinged your wrist there, as you can see, a good almost 75 degree, which is great. As you come back to the golf ball, in this case, obviously back to the ball, you can hold your angle there nice when your left hand comes down to parallel. Okay, if we look at your swing here now and you get your left arm in the same position, look at those clubs. That left arm now is almost straight with the club. That left arm now is main, so that's that sort of snap we talked about. So when you then straighten your arm up here, there's some speed into the golf ball. Your hands in the club swishing through the target, up on your left hand. And when the ball gets in the way, it's the M1 here now. Ooh, I think it was this one. Just check. Yeah, this one. Okay, so as you went back, okay, left arm position there. You can see your left arm now is similar kind of position to practice, and the club's not quite as high. It's not as flat as it was, okay, not as high as it wanted to be, but it's somewhere in between, which is what we kind of expect you're kind of moving towards. At the moment, you can't hinge the wrist too much. Once, however, you get your wrist hinged to here, obviously then you can hinge too much, and you'll be like, you're hurting yourself if you're not careful. So we've got to be just keep on top of it to make sure we don't go overly too wristy, okay? We're still pushing the club back, but you can see now in terms of the back, so now much fuller hinge of the wrist. Your left forearm there and the club are creating an angle, which is one of the power sources. Your shoulders have turned probably about 80 degrees, so you are turning your shoulders nicely, which is good. Okay, and then coming back to the golf ball here now, you can unhinge your wrist, back to the golf ball, good strike as you make contact. Now, yes, potentially in time there's some work can be done on this sort of through swing. Don't worry about that now. If you try and worry about this now, you forget the backswing. You'll do nothing. Okay. I'd rather you get one half of the circle completed, get the outside edge of the jigsaw done, and we can move into the middle. So maybe, I don't know, 3-4 weeks time, couple of weeks time, whatever it may be. Once you had a bit of practice on this backswing position, this hinge is getting more and more familiar and how it needs to be done. We can then say, right, Joe, you've got that. That's kind of muscle memory. Forget the backswing. We can now work on the through swing to improve that thing. So again, what we'll do then now is obviously we're increasing the power we're creating and then increasing the power we deliver to the golf ball. So if we say, roughly speaking, you were trying to have got a 7-iron 100 yards, okay? I would say you were probably creating somewhere in the region of about 75 to 80% of power going back. We'll say 75, so you were actually creating 75% of power on the way back. Hence why it was going 75 yards. And on occasions when you lose power because the contact and this impact position as you come through like this is maybe losing another 10 or 15%. So you're probably going to be going somewhere about 60 yards, okay? What we're going to try and do now is create 100 yards, which we're getting, okay, in the backswing here. However, if on the through swing the same move applies, we're probably going to be more towards 80 or 90 yards. So we're still going to be just short of that 100 until we kind of really sort of put the two pieces together, okay? But if you were losing yards, I mean, I think 100 yards is well within. I mean, I think you nearly got a couple that were close to 100 yards. And I wouldn't be at all surprised if suddenly we could start getting to like 110, 115 even. The potential is there. I saw you at that poor bag there. He knows how far you can swing it because he felt on the backside, okay? So distance is there, okay? but it's understanding how we create the power and how we release that to the golf ball. All the golf ball knows is how fast that club is going down here.
What should I be doing to produce the right thing and practice the right thing?
I think basically in terms of mirror images, stand in front of the mirror image and just get yourself into that L position. So the L position being the fact we've got the left arm on the club looking like that. So we just stand in front of the mirror, just hinge. Take the backswing, hinge, and just do that. I always sort of say to people, look, do things at home as best you can, little and often. So when you're in the kitchen, put the kettle on for 2 minutes, how long it takes the kettle to boil, in front of a mirror, in the back garden, in front of some French window, just stand there, like a reflection there, just stand there and go, boom, boom, and look at yourself in the mirror, just see what you're doing, okay? And then perhaps try and do it without looking. So we swing back, stop, then have a look, see how it looks, and then so you can use that as an answer, not just basically guided by that. On the golf course, that reflection's not going to be there, is it? So you can't always use the reflection. All right, so giving yourself that time. Once that becomes pretty much more second nature or more natural, then you can start thinking about other things in the golf swing. Yeah? Does that make sense?
Yeah.